Track Wrestling with Kelly Ward, three-time NCAA championship finalist, won it in 1979, and member of the Secret Service. We'll start with the losses. You lost in the finals to a really good guy named Lee Kemp. What was it like wrestling Lee Kemp all those years?
Well, he was a little bit above average. Yeah. That guy was, it was so difficult to wrestle him because he had gear shifts that only a few people I've ever encountered have, that can gear up 3 or 4 more gears above everybody else. Carl Adams, him, you know, some others, but he could just do things that other people couldn't do. And his technique was perfect. He was slick. His speed was exceptional. Strength extraordinary.
What was it like to finally win it in 1979?
That was, you know, that was a quest since I was 10 years old. So coming up short twice was something that you know, you still think about to this day, and it was a relief, quite frankly, and a final goal that I finally accomplished.
You wrestled at Iowa State. Harold Nichols is a larger-than-life character. What was it like wrestling for Nick?
Harold Nichols was the perfect coach for me. Harold Nichols was like a CEO more than a coach, because he had all these other coaches in the room. Basically, he was like a gardener. He'd say, here, you take care of this section of the garden, you take care of this section, you know, Carl, do this. Willie Gatson was basically like my personal coach that he kept around for different people. And that's, you know, when you had Nick took care of you when you had issues outside of the room. His coaches that he had put together, so he the CEO, they took care of everything in the room, pretty much.
How does wrestling prepare you for the Secret Service?
Well, you know what? Wrestling's tough. The Secret Service was tough in some ways. You know, people don't think about this, but you know, they load you up onto a military plane and fly halfway around the world to the Middle East or something. I've slept on metal grates on these giant military planes. Get off, you're sleep deprived, you gotta go right to work. I mean, that's an unusual circumstance. The president went to a funeral. Clinton, I think, went to King Hussein's funeral. But you know, you know, wrestling is not always perfect, and you got to adapt. That's the thing about wrestling. You got to adapt to what you're dealing with. And the Secret Service was the same way with logistics and traveling. But even so, hunting fugitives was actually my favorite thing to do, and it was like became a competition almost when I found out that they knew I was hunting them, and then they were trying to avoid me, leaving the state, leaving the country, and you know, it was actually kind of fun, kind of hunting them down, and then like, aha, yeah, not going to let you go.
As far as the U.S. presidents, how many of U.S. presidents did you interact with, and if you're around them, were they cordial? Did they like being around you?
Some like being around you, some don't, just like everybody. I was around all the presidents from Ronald Reagan all the way to Bush Jr., 43, I believe, didn't he? And so I was around them all up until that point. And, you know, I'm still just working down the street from them, but I'm not around them as much as I was. But, you know, it's an interesting thing, but you know, it's after a while the aha part of it, or oh my goodness part of it, wears off pretty quick, because it just becomes, it's your job. They're not like, wow, there's the President of the United States. That's your protecting, you got to do a job.
Who was your favorite among those presidents?
Oh, it's easy, Ronald Reagan.
Why?
The guy was one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. And he was genuine, and he just was a great guy. he took interest in you. He'd ask you questions about yourself, and you could just tell he was truly interested in what was going on in your life, your family, and I get it. They're all driven, and they got jobs to do, and they're doing them, and we're just there to do our job. But he was just a tremendous guy. I mean, I'm get politics out of it. I mean, I like Bill Clinton a lot. Went 3 weeks around the world with him. Great guy. I wouldn't vote for him, but like the guy.
What does the Secret Service job entail? You glossed over a little bit, but just take us behind the scenes on what it's like to be part of the Secret Service and what you actually do.
Well, most people don't understand or know what we do. All they think is that we protect the presidents of the United States and the candidates for president. Secret Service was founded, put together the day that Abe Lincoln got shot. The law was passed. Everything's got to be a law to have agencies in the United States. And the reason it was because 3/4 of half or 3/4 of the currency after the war was counterfeit money. And I'm not going to dive deep into that, but so they put together a group and said, hey, we got to start hunting these guys down, these counterfeiters, and get rid of that so people have some trust in our currency. So they did it, and about after, I don't know how many years, 7, 8 years, they got a pretty good handle on it. And that's our #1 criminal violation that we're assigned to do. But the protection supersedes everything. And if there's a threat, we're running out threats all the time. Also, people are calling in threats, writing in threats, telling their buddy over a pool table in Missoula, Montana, hey, I hate the president. And you're getting a phone call at 2 in the morning and leaping out of bed and going to find this guy. Not exactly the funnest part of the job. But counterfeiting, and then when I was in the service, it's expanded to bank fraud and financial instruments, thefts and frauds. It's mostly stealing. We're the government's police for getting out there and finding the bad guys who are stealing from the government. And the government has some pretty sharp teeth. If they get stolen from, they get kind of angry.
How do you use the skills of wrestling in your daily life, Kelly?
Daily life of wrestling, well, pretty much everybody comes up into blockades of no, it can't happen, won't work, that sort of thing. Forget about doing that. And I would say wrestling helped me in that way, in that I kept banging on doors for certain things. The Secret Service is a perfect example. It took me 5 years to get in, and initially was told, you can't, for reasons I'll just leave out, that for reasons I didn't have some sort of, I don't know, something in my school, I had to take something. And so I just went back and took it and got that handled. It just, wrestling is great for anything. It trains you to be tough, it trains you to be perseverance, dedicated to things and that you believe in, and that's pretty much it helps me in everything.
Did you ever have to use your wrestling in an altercation during the Secret Service? I had a guy, turned out he was a wrestler too. We were arrested in Lower Manhattan, and we got into it, and me and my partner they came to a sting we had, and they were coming out of the sting we'd set up, and we were arresting them and throwing them, they were getting in their car. Most people just give up when you tell them who you are. This guy started fighting me and crawling from the back seat, crawling into the car, and the car was going. Probably saved my life that I had the wrestling skills, because I wrestled him out of there because he was trying to throw the car into drive, and we were going to be heading down the street with nobody at the driver's side seat. We had a couple, not too often, but
Well, there was another incident where I was attacked by 3 drug dealers, and if I hadn't had my wrestling skills, I probably would have been dead, because actually one of them got my gun, and I was able to get it back from him and alleviate the situation really from wrestling skills that I had.
Was that tougher than wrestling Lee Kemp?
No, Kemp's still tougher. That's a good one. Lee still gets the #1 shit.
All right. Hey, appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, very good.